I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. If you like the following video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. With the River Murray in flood and the water level a long way above normal pool level, we thought we'd take a run from our home here in Adelaide and go up to Morgan and then follow the river right through to Renmark. As we go along our journey, we'll show you some flooded sections here at Morgan, as well as a couple of locks between Morgan and Barmera. We'll have a look at the rising water levels at the back of the Overland Hotel. As we were nearly at Barmera, we followed the side of this storm that we can see coming in the cloud formation, and the wind certainly put the water high up in the Lake Bonnie area. And after overnighting at Renmark, we have a look at the floodplains around Renmark itself, and then we go out to the Paringa Bridge. It was an easy drive to Morgan, and once we got into the town we went down to the boat ramp, which is alongside the ferry. Now the boat ramp is well and truly submerged, so it can no longer be used, and we show a couple of photos of what it's like today and what it was like some time ago. Somewhere under all that water is the boat ramp, and very shortly you'll see a video clip of when we were up here in March of the same year, 2022, and we did a bit of filming there, but yes, no longer able to use it. Most towns along the Murray have got these river flood level indicators, and up at the very top, but unfortunately I didn't get up there for sun glare, I didn't realise at the time, but right up the top is a 1956 flood level. This is now the video clip from March earlier in this year and showing the boat ramp. Don't quote me on this, but I'm assuming all this green lawn area will go underwater with the predicted water level when it reaches as high as what they seem to think it's going to go. I may be wrong. A lot of the ferries along the River Murray system will be affected by the peak when that does come, so at some stage some of them, if not all of them, may close, and it will certainly add on some kilometres to anyone's journey when they want to go from one side of the river to the other. Now looking east from the township of Morgan, showing all the backwaters starting to fill, certainly going to make the river healthy. As the drone slowly swings to the left, it's going from the eastern side of the river, slowly to swing around to the town of Morgan. No doubt all these shacks will be well and truly prepared by now for what water is coming down the river, but it does make you wonder, what do? You're there and the water's going to be up for a number of months, so they say, so I guess if you're going to live there or visit there, you'll be going to get your groceries by boat. There'll be no other option. The the service road that comes down to these shacks, you can see just in the area there in amongst the trees. Whether that will go under or not, I don't know. Maybe that may stay above the water level, and they can use that to get their groceries. After leaving Morgan, we made our way towards Barmera and called into Lock 2 on our way, and had a look at the water as it was flowing over the lock, which was moving very, very fast. The 1931 flood level here at Lock 2, certainly not as high as what the 1956 flood was, but still be a lot of water going down the river. It really is an incredible sight to see the lock and weir all submerged in water like this, particularly if you know what they look like when they run at the normal pool level. It's an incredible sight. This is the water level and appearance of the lock that we would normally expect to see on a normal year or a normal water level. After leaving the Lock 2, it was onto the Overland Corner where we were going to have a look at the water as it was coming up to the back of the hotel, and we're just driving down past the hotel now to swing around into the car park at the back of the hotel. All the water in front of us now that you're looking at, that is normally a dry floodplain. None of this water would be there at all on a normal year. Unless the river's flooding like it is now, it would certainly be a dry existence as you look across the floodplain. As you look at all the vehicles parked up there, at roof height of those vehicles is a levee bank, and I'm not sure, but I think they were probably there in existence from the 1956 flood, and here we are now standing up on top of the levee bank, so the water would have to come up a long way before it ever breached the levee bank. There's always a great atmosphere at the Overland Corner Hotel, and I think today there was a birthday function on there. Certainly some birthday wishes going around. This is the road that leads down to the camping area, and it's quite a drive to go down to the River Murray from here. We went down here some time ago looking for camping spots along the Murray, and you can drive for a good 10 or 15 minutes before you get to a camping spot, so it's a long way to the Murray, but yeah, so much water. As the drone pans around here now, to the very far top of the picture a long way away would be Barmera. Now looking downstream back towards Morgan. Not too many fellas could probably say they went to the pub via or using a boat, but I suppose this one can certainly say that they've done it. Should never camp near rising waters within a creek, but on a floodplain like this for an overnighter should not be an issue. The area to the left is the dry floodplains in a normal river pool level, and with the river water here to the right, and that's what we would normally expect to see. From the Overland Corner we made our way down to Lock 3. As the afternoon progressed, the wind was getting stronger and stronger, so unfortunately I couldn't put the drone up to show the lock here, but there's always next time. The lock flow meter showing that the water flow here currently is just over 80,000 megalitres a day. This aerial shot here shows what the lock looks like on lower pool level, and this was back in March 2022 when we were here. At this part of the trip we're heading to Barmah to see if we get a bed for the night, and we saw this storm coming in, and we're quite lucky that we actually followed the side of it, and I don't think we got the brunt of it at all, but it did cause a lot of damage throughout the Riverland. As we were driving along the foreshore, when the storm part of it caught up with us, or we caught up with the storm, I said to Sally, I said, no, let's get away from any trees here because there's going to be some trees coming down, and there was a lot of trees that did come down in the end. Once again, too windy to put the drone up, but the wind was so harsh and fast that it certainly made rough waters out on Lake Bonny, or you almost think you're out in the middle of the ocean. Due to the rising water level in Lake Bonny, the swimming jetty was now closed. With a beautiful day and normal water levels in Lake Bonny, it's certainly a pretty location to visit. We couldn't get an overnight booking anywhere in Barmah, so we went on to Berry, but when we were driving through Berry, we found this tree here, and that brought down power lines and created havoc for Barmah, Renmark, and I guess a lot of the other surrounding districts. As we went down past the Caravan Park, you'll see shortly a tree that's come down within the Caravan Park, and lucky it never landed on a caravan. From Berry it was on to Renmark, where we got a booking at the Big 4 Caravan Park for a cabin for the night, and we're hearing that people up in the Riverland are saying, please don't stop visiting us, we need everyone to come up and support us, which is understandable, but we were quite surprised to find it so hard to get a accommodation for the night. Always a lovely sunset when you look from the Caravan Park back up towards the town of Renmark along the river here. Very pretty. Levee banks are a necessary evil to stop the water from getting into the caravan park, and it's understandable why they're there. But unfortunately, once they're there, I guess they're going to stay there, as all the other levee banks have done since the 1956 floods. And it's these levee banks that now stop you from sitting outside your caravan and viewing that beautiful sunset that we looked at a moment ago. Just outside the entrance to the caravan park is the boat ramp and the picnic area, and of course that's all now underwater. A lot of the foreshore area here at Renmark is now underwater, and I guess it's going to stay that way now for a number of months. Renmark's yearly flood level indicator, and here I am pointing to the 1956 flood level. From the main part of Renmark we went over to Paringa and put the drone up and had a look at some of the floodplains that surround Renmark. The water is now starting to flood into the Bert Dix Memorial Park here at Paringa, and a lot of the areas are now unusable. I was quite surprised how fast the water is running through the lower areas of this memorial park. And these are waters that are coming out of the River Murray itself, out of the main channel, and moving into the backwaters. Some of the barbecues are still out of the water, but not all of them, unfortunately. The Bert Dix Memorial Park is located right alongside the Paringa Bridge, and I'm not quite sure how the water level is going to affect vessels that want to go under the bridge without the bridge actually opening up. No doubt as the river gets higher, that gap's going to get smaller. As we fly over the top of the Paringa Bridge now, you can see the green section lawn there to the left of the river. And that's a caravan park now. It's a very beautiful caravan park to stay at, and right on the edge of the water, but got to be worrying times in situations like these. So much water out in all these floodplains. It's one thing that man's got no control over. He might be able to stop a fire eventually, but once you hear of all this water coming down the river, you can only prepare for it. You can't stop it. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. But coming up in part 2, which will be released in a couple of days' time, we'll have a look at a couple of more locks as we go through the drive, and then from the lock we'll go down towards Berry and have a look at the road here that takes you from the Berry to Renmark road, and that heads out to the Lyrup ferry. And here's all the floodplains around the town of Berry itself, and from there we move on to Longstorm and have a look at this one here, and this is between Berry and Longstorm itself. While in Longstorm we'll have a look at the flooding around the boat ramp as well as the caravan park, and then we'll move on to Kingston area and have a look at the flooding around Kingston and the bridge there. If you like the video that you just watched, give us a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button, and once you've done that, tap on the bell and change the notification to all. That way every time we do uploads to our YouTube channel, you'll be notified.